Hello and welcome to A Tribe Called Cars. My name is Ben Griffin and today I'm going to talk to you about what this channel is all about. So I made some notes because otherwise I'm going to be talking for hours. Nice day. Now there's a little bit of a clue in the name because it's A Tribe Called Cars, so it's going to be about cars. So there are going to be car reviews, but it's more of sort of a way of looking at motoring in an accessible way and from the perspective of someone who's been a motoring journalist for, I don't know, 5, 6, 7 years. I've kind of lost track. Still amazed I'm here, but anyway, that's another story entirely. So there's obviously going to be car reviews because I love driving new cars. I get invited to drive them. I've driven probably hundreds of them. I've lost count. But I've been very lucky to drive anything from the McLaren Senna to the Fiesta ST, anything, absolutely anything. Single-seater Formula 3000, rally cars, just the whole works. So I want to give you a sort of insight into motoring journalism and the cars themselves, and I don't really want to hog the screen too much. It's nice to know who you're talking to and build up a sort of personality between you and me, but I want the cars to shine. Now I really like the idea of helping you guys make your own YouTube videos as well, and also take really cool car photos because I am a huge photography geek. I have pretty much all the equipment and turns out you really don't need much to do a fairly good job, but I really like explaining to people why you should pick this lens or that lens, what's the best way to record audio, and these various other questions. So this channel is going to look at the cinematography and the photography of cars as well, because no one really does that. And I feel like it might be of benefit to people like yourself who wants to start out and do what I do. Try and make videos that are cool enough to get you your own subscriber base or get you into motoring journalism or whatever it is you want to do. So I'm going to try and help you with that as best I can. And of course, a lot of you follow me for racing games, Dirt Rally 2, Forza Horizon 4, presumably Forza Motorsport 8. Whenever that turns up, I can usually get access to a game early, and that's really, really cool. With that in mind, I will continue to do reviews, previews, and try and do 3 videos a week, and 1 or 2 of those will probably be gaming. The reason for that split at the moment is A, I need to sustain myself through other ways because YouTube isn't paying me anything at the moment. I have a Patreon that no one's paid for because ultimately the channel isn't anywhere near enough of a critical mass, and I've not done enough videos for people to think, yeah, I want to invest in him. That takes time, that takes me to build up trust with you guys and for you to enjoy the videos I make. And I've had pretty decent feedback so far. I've been preparing to make this YouTube channel for a long, long time. We're now here, but it's going to be a slow process. There's no guarantee I'll get monetized at 1,000 followers, which is the other way I'd hope to make money in the long run, because it could be now with the new copyright laws on YouTube that actually it's just impossible. Not really sure. If that happens, then maybe the gaming stuff will have to go down to 1 video, and maybe the cars and camera stuff will go up to 2 videos a week to compensate. Not really sure. We'll see how that plays out. Now, of course, I do have one way to make money, but it really isn't a huge amount, and that's affiliate links. So in every video I make will be affiliate links to the camera, the lens, the microphone, the Elgato game recorder, whatever I have used to make the video. Not just because if I click it, I get a few pence and you'll charge nothing, and the more people that click it, the more money I can make to put back into the channel, but also because you can see why a video looks like it does. It might be that you like a certain aesthetic. It might be that you like a particular lens, but you want to know if it's good for vlogging or if it's sharp enough to use for the purpose you want. So if I tell you everything I use, then you can make that decision yourself. Basically, I love being a motoring journalist, and it has been a dream to do this. It really has been. I've had some phenomenal memories, and I wouldn't change what I've done for anything else. It doesn't pay well. I don't think it's an easy career. And some of the lows are really, really low, and this is something that other YouTubers and motoring journalists will tell you, and it's something I want to look at a later date. But the highs are very high. It is a fun job, and if you love cars as much as I do, then the idea of driving new cars and seeing where the world is progressing is really, really fascinating. Actually, before I became a car journalist, I was a tech journalist, writing about phones, computers, laptops, blah, blah, blah. Before that was video games, which is another thing that I really, really love, really, really passionate about. But the dream was cars, and I fell into it simply because I got maybe fired from my previous job. But anyway, that's another story. Not actually really that interesting. It wasn't like I threw a TV through a window or something cool, something rock star. It just is what it is. But a week later, a guy called Mr. Rory Reid, who some of you will know as the bloke who made it onto Top Gear. That was weird. We all knew about his being on the show probably 6 or so months before, and it was odd, you know, because we all know the show was Jeremy Clarkson, Richard Hammond and James May, and for this guy that was our boss to be going onto the show was crazy, so weird. And seeing him on the front of, I think it was the Star or the Sun with the 2 shotguns, and yeah, just so surreal, so weird. Anyway, he basically said, I need someone to write about cars, can you do it? And this was a week after I'd been fired, and I'd finally found a job that I loved, so I was really like, I finally found something I can do every day that doesn't make me want to hang myself. And so for me to have lost that, because I'm an idiot, and other people could be idiots, was a difficult pill to swallow, I'll say that. But as I said, within a week, Rory said, you want to do some writing about cars, and 2.5 years after that, I went into the office as some sort of editor thing, and then I became editor of the car section. Rory left to do Top Gear, and I stayed there for probably another 1 or 2 years or something, a long time, enough to build up a reasonable knowledge of the car industry and cars. And I made a few videos along the way. Some of you may have seen my rather interesting attempts, the Tesla Model S being one of them. Battling with the fear of being on camera has been probably the biggest challenge for me, but because it's a challenge, I just want to nail it. Just get it right. And then the doors open and I can be better and more interesting, and you guys can learn more and be more entertained. So it's something that's always ongoing, but something that I want to really nail. God, I've talked a lot. But anyway, for years and years, I wanted to do the YouTube thing, and it just wasn't really possible. Or perhaps I knew I wasn't ready, or I was procrastinating too much, or you just make millions of excuses. One of the things I've actually learned from starting a YouTube in 2018, 2019 is that good YouTube videos you watch and you don't really question them. You don't really think about them. They're just seamless, you enjoy them, start to finish, or however far you get, they're good. You get what you wanted, hopefully, maybe a bit clickbait to the title, but ultimately that's it, job done, bam. But when you take a step onto the other side and you are the one in front of the camera, you realize that just getting yourself into that mental state to be disciplined enough to do 3 videos a week, or however many you do, they do, or to be positive, or to be interesting, or to come up with ideas constantly, or to do something different, to try and be original, to try and be presentable. Those are just some of the little things before you've even pressed record, setting up the room, having the lights so that things look good, having the lens, having the camera, understanding how to record sound. Then there's the editing, then there's the color grading, then there's, do you shoot flat? Do you shoot in RAW if it's the Blackmagic Pocket Cinema 4K? Do you write a script? Do you ad lib? Do you do a bit of both? There are so many things that most people just don't consider. Just having the guts to do it is difficult. That's one of the things I found really hard. I will make so many excuses. I'll end up tidying the house. I hate tidying, but I'll do it because it means it's another thing I have to do before I actually have to do the thing that is most terrifying, and that is making a video and putting it on the internet and hoping people don't completely shred me. That in itself has been a really big challenge. And of course, as I said earlier, trying to get to 1,000 subs. We're at 720 at the time of making this, which is pretty decent. It's a highly competitive market. So many people doing the same thing. I guess my USP is that I am an expert, supposedly, sometimes, in cars and tech and cameras and photography. And I can get games early, and I can drive cars sometimes before pretty much anyone else in the world. Maybe some customers get an early drive. Obviously the teams testing the cars would have driven them before me, but there's a good chance that I am among the first, it can be 30, 50, 60, 100 people in the entire world to drive it. Because a lot of companies prioritize the UK market first, and that's really cool. And the UK has such a variety of cars as well. We get things from ridiculous supercars to some V8s, not like America, but to some extent. And these weird little hatchbacks and other cars that America has only just started recently adopting, you know, the fast hatchbacks and stuff that we've had for, well, a long, long time, basically. And so that's really, really cool. And all these things just help me, basically, put me in a good place to do the YouTube thing. Whether it goes well, I have no idea. Do I want it to? Yes, obviously. It's been a dream. It really is a passion, just to be able to get up and make a video about this, and for people to say, that was really useful, that was really interesting, that was cool, would be great. But obviously, if you guys like the stuff, feel free to donate, or if you're a company, send me equipment so I can then make a video about it, write about it. There's also the website, tribecoolcars.com, because actually these days people are hyper lazy, myself included, and sometimes I don't want to watch video because it might be I'm on the train, I can't be bothered, don't have headphones, whatever it is. I like to read content, and actually my reviews go a little bit more in depth. I don't want to do 20-minute, 30-minute car reviews because that's hardcore. It's just probably boring. If it was like a challenge between 2-3 cars, or a road trip, or a travel piece, which is something else I want to do, road trips around the world because I've traveled quite a lot and that's really, really cool, then yeah, more time would be great. But ultimately 10 to 15 tops, and then give you more detail and more probably perhaps price comparison, things that I wouldn't necessarily talk about too much on camera because it's just quite dry and quite boring. That will be on the website. So yeah, by all means go to tribecoolcars.com, and yeah, if you like something, if you want to subscribe, please subscribe, it would be amazing. Support me on this journey, which I have no idea where it's going to end up. Whether it's going to be 2 years before it starts to survive, 10 years, I don't know. Hopefully it's faster than that because I don't want to look old and weird on camera, but it's really exciting, genuinely, to start something now and see how it grows. It's crazy. I remember when I had 20 subs, then it was 30, then it was 50, then it was 100, and I was like, oh, well, that's not really a milestone, is it? You know, if I can't get to 100, I may as well just throw all my equipment out and give up now. Then it was 200, 250, 300, 500. I was like, well, it's not really a milestone either. And now we're kind of cruising up nicely to the 1,000. Not really sure how long the last 280 is going to take, but it's exciting. Genuinely, it's cool. It's something I've wanted to do for a long time, and now I'm doing it. I only have myself to blame if it fails, crashes and burns. And on the flip side, if you guys are like, yeah, it's cool, or maybe you should try this, and give me some feedback, then hopefully I could just improve the channel, make it somewhere that you guys really want to visit and you want to watch the videos. And for instance, if you buy a new car, or you're thinking about buying a new car, or thinking about buying a new camera or a new lens or whatever it is, then you can use this channel to help you. I will always try and answer questions in the comments. However, that's okay at the moment when some videos get 100 plus, some get 20, 30. When it gets to the point where if some of the videos go crazy and viral, whatever it is, then perhaps it's going to be more difficult. But I will always endeavor to try and at least read what people are saying, take that on board, use it, and then just try and tweak the videos, make them better. I don't want you guys telling me what to make, because that's boring. It's nice to surprise of what I'm going to do. But at the same time, if there's something I've missed or overlooked, then yeah, by all means tell me. I will do my best to incorporate it. Anyway, this has gone on for far too long. If you're still awake, thank you very much. If you're not, at least you let the video run, because that helps me with the YouTube algorithm. And if you left earlier, then you're not listening anyway, so that's kind of irrelevant. But from now on, what I'm going to do is the odd sort of update on how the channel's doing, what's coming up soon, but also talk about various car things. So this playlist is just going to be me to the camera, and I'll chuck in video footage of whatever I'm talking about as it comes up. But ultimately, it's going to be sort of a more newsy type thing, because I think it's quite cool. So it might be I'm talking about the misconceptions around electric cars, or what is the most exciting supercar I've ever driven, or it could be that you ask me questions and then I use this time to do that, because actually that's really cool. If you guys want to make a joke, something funny, that's easier for me to be funny, because then you're a part of this process. It's not just me making stuff and occasionally someone chucks something back at me. So you have a question about anything to do with cars. I'm not going to do relationship counselling, although I can probably try. I've had a few. But yeah, Cars, photography, cinematography, cameras, audio. Chuck it at me, maybe I'll have a good answer. And if I don't, then I will Google, research, and then give you a good answer, because that is actually a very big part of being a journalist. I don't know everything. I go to a car launch and no one's told me anything about the car. So I have to then learn about the car, remember how the old one was, and then tell it in a way that you guys find interesting and useful. And that isn't always easy. Anyway guys, thank you so much for watching. My name has been Ben Griffin. This is A Tribe Called Cars. Please subscribe and please have a... say it, not spray it. Please subscribe and please have a wonderful rest of the week. I will see you soon on the channel. Take care, bye.